Every day, millions of people walk past a spinning red, white, and blue pole outside a barber shop. It looks cheerful, almost playful, a harmless decoration spinning in a window. But that pole was never decoration. It was once an advertisement for blood. Real, human blood. Drained on purpose in the very same shop, by the very same man who is about to cut your hair. And before this story ends, you'll learn about a president who bled to death because of the very practice this pole represents. A mistake so severe, it may have killed the most powerful man in America. Let's go back before barbers were just barbers. For thousands of years, doctors believed the human body was ruled by 4 fluids: blood, phlegm, yellow bile, black bile. If a person got sick, doctors believed one of these fluids had built up too much. Too much blood meant fever. Too much blood meant headaches. Too much blood, they believed, meant almost anything. And the solution was simple: remove some of it. This practice was called bloodletting. A blade would open a vein, usually at the elbow or the knee, and blood would drain out into a bowl. It sounds primitive. It sounds dangerous. It was both. But for over 1,000 years, it was one of the most common medical treatments in the Western world. At first, this grim procedure wasn't performed by barbers at all. It was performed by monks. In medieval monasteries, monks were expected to shave their heads regularly. They were also expected to stay healthy through regular bloodletting. Since they already had sharp blades on hand for shaving, monks simply extended their skills to include this bloody medical task. But then, in the year 1163, everything changed. The Pope issued an order. Monks and priests were forbidden from spilling blood of any kind, even for medical purposes. It was considered unholy work for men devoted to God, so the church needed someone else to take over, someone with steady hands, someone who already worked with sharp blades every single day. They turned to the barbers. And just like that, an entire profession was transformed overnight. Barbers stopped being simple haircutters. They became something far stranger: barber surgeons. A visit to the barber in medieval Europe had almost nothing to do with a haircut. You might walk in for a shave and walk out having had a tooth pulled, a wound stitched, or a vein deliberately opened to drain your blood. These barber surgeons handled it all: minor surgery, dental extractions, setting broken bones, and bloodletting, over and over again, for nearly every ailment imaginable. One of history's most respected surgeons, a Frenchman named Ambroise Paré, started his entire career this way, as a humble barber surgeon before becoming known as the father of modern surgery. But here's where the story becomes visceral, genuinely disturbing. After a bloodletting procedure, the barber surgeon needed to display his skill somehow. So they began hanging the used bandages outside the shop. Bloodied cloth, soaked from the procedure, tied to a wooden rod and hung outside for everyone passing by to see. The wind would catch these bandages. They'd twist. They'd wrap around the pole in the breeze, blood-red cloth spiraling around white cloth, over and over, day after day. That twisting spiral is the exact pattern you still see on barber poles today. It gets worse. For a while, some barbershops didn't just hang bandages outside. They displayed entire bowls of collected blood directly in their front windows. A grim trophy case, proving to the public that, yes, this shop performed bloodletting, and performed it well. Eventually, the smell and the sight became too much for the public to tolerate. Complaints piled up. The gruesome bowls of blood disappeared from shop windows. But the striped pole stayed. It had already become the profession's unmistakable symbol, and that symbol carried even more hidden meaning than most people realize. The pole itself wasn't just decoration either. Patients undergoing bloodletting were given a wooden rod to grip tightly during the procedure. Squeezing the rod made the veins in the arm bulge outward, making them easier for the barber surgeon to find and cut. Even the brass ball often placed at the very top of the pole had a purpose. It represented the basin used to hold blood, or in some versions the jar used to store leeches, which were also used to drain blood directly from the skin. Every single piece of the modern barber pole, once you understand it, tells the story of a bloody medical procedure performed in a hair-cutting shop. But the practice of bloodletting wasn't just common, it was dangerous, genuinely lethal, in ways doctors of the time never understood. And nowhere is that more shocking than in the death of George Washington. In December of 1799, the first president of the United States woke up with a sore throat. Just a sore throat. Nothing that would concern a modern doctor for more than a day or two. His physicians, following the medical wisdom of the era, decided the solution was to remove his blood. Over a single 24-hour period, doctors drained an estimated 40% of Washington's total blood volume. 40%. An amount modern medicine would recognize instantly as catastrophic, life-threatening blood loss. Washington died that same night. The most powerful man in America, killed not by an enemy, not by illness alone, but by a medical treatment rooted in the exact same practice that gave us the striped pole spinning outside barbershops today. As medicine slowly advanced, doctors began to realize the horrifying truth. Bloodletting wasn't curing patients. In many cases, it was killing them. By the 1500s, governments had already started separating the two professions that barber surgeons had merged for centuries. A statute passed requiring barbers and surgeons to distinguish their services using different colored poles. Surgeons used red and white. Barbers used blue and white. Eventually, surgery split away entirely, becoming its own respected medical field, backed by proper scientific training. Barbers were left with just what remains today: haircuts, shaves, and grooming. But the pole never went away. It kept spinning outside barbershops, generation after generation, evolving into the cheerful red, white, and blue decoration recognized worldwide today. In the United States, some historians believe the blue stripe was added simply out of patriotism, echoing the colors of the national flag. Others believe it still secretly represents the veins that barber surgeons once deliberately cut open. So, the next time you walk past a spinning barber pole, look at it differently. That harmless, cheerful decoration isn't just design, it's a surviving symbol of one of history's strangest professions. A job that once combined haircuts with surgery, shaves with bloodletting, and grooming with genuine, visceral medical danger. A symbol born from bloodied bandages twisting in the wind outside a medieval shop, still spinning quietly on street corners today, hiding one of history's most disturbing medical practices in plain sight.